Ever dreamt of a garden that's a buzzing hub for bees, a fluttering dance floor for butterflies, and a favorite pit stop for birds? Such a vision is not only a feast for the eyes but a lifeline for these small yet mighty creatures we call pollinators. Welcome to the enchanting world of pollinator gardens, a world where beauty intertwines with purpose, and where every flower is a beacon of hope for our buzzing, fluttering, chirping friends. Now you might be wondering, what is a pollinator garden? It's a garden designed with a special intent to attract, feed, and provide shelter for pollinators such as bees, butterflies, and birds. It's not just about creating a visual spectacle, but about supporting an ecosystem that is crucial to the survival of many plants and indeed, our own survival. Just take a moment to imagine this. A garden that is a riot of colors, with flowers blooming in every corner, buzzing with bees collecting nectar, butterflies dancing from flower to flower, and birds chirping as they hop from one sunflower to the next. But here's the thing, our pollinators are in trouble. Over the past few decades, their populations have been on a steady decline, largely due to habitat loss, pesticide exposure, and climate change. This is where pollinator gardens come into play. By creating these gardens, we can provide them with the habitats they need to thrive and in turn help to halt their decline. Each garden, no matter how small, can make a significant difference. And the beauty of it is, anyone can create a pollinator garden. It doesn't require a vast space or a green thumb, just a little effort and a lot of love for our pollinators. In the coming scenes, we'll delve deeper into the why and how of pollinator gardens, the science behind pollination, and the profound impact these gardens can have on our ecosystems. So as we embark on this journey, imagine the difference you could make with a garden bustling with these incredible creatures. But why exactly do we need pollinator gardens, you may ask? Well, let's dive into it. At first glance, pollinator gardens seem like a delightful oasis of color and life, a playground for bees, butterflies, and birds. But their real value runs much deeper. They are, in fact, a lifeline for our ecosystem. Pollinators, as the name suggests, are responsible for pollination. They transfer pollen from the male part of a flower to the female part, enabling the production of seeds. This process is crucial for the growth of many fruits, vegetables, and nuts that make up a major part of our diet. Not only that, but they also help to pollinate plants that create habitats for other wildlife. However, pollinator populations are facing a steep decline. Bees, for instance, have seen a significant drop in numbers, with some species even facing the threat of extinction. Habitat loss, use of pesticides, climate change, and disease are some of the major factors contributing to this decline. Here's a quick fact to put things in perspective. About 75% of the world's food crops depend at least in part on pollination. Now, imagine a world where these diligent workers are no longer around. Our food supply and biodiversity would be severely impacted. This is where pollinator gardens come in. By creating a garden that provides food and shelter for these crucial creatures, you are contributing to their survival and, by extension, ours. These gardens can be as small as a window box or as large as a field. The key is to use a variety of plants that flower at different times of the year, providing a constant source of food for the pollinators. A single garden may not seem like much, but collectively, they can make a significant impact. They can act as stepping stones that connect fragmented habitats, creating a network of resources for pollinators. So it's clear, the world needs more pollinator gardens and you can help. Ready to create your own pollinator paradise? Here's how. Let's start with the location. Sunlight is a key ingredient for your garden's success, so choose a spot that gets at least 6 hours of sunlight per day. The more sun, the better. If you're working with a small space, don't fret. A balcony or patio can work just as well. Next, consider your soil. Most pollinator-friendly plants prefer well-drained, fertile soil. If your soil is heavy clay or sandy, you might need to do a bit of amending with compost or other organic matter. It's all about creating a healthy foundation for your plants to thrive. Now let's talk about the stars of the show, the plants. You'll want to select a variety of plants that bloom at different times throughout the year, ensuring there's always a food source available for our winged friends. Go for native plants as they're already adapted to your local environment and are typically what local pollinators are looking for. When it comes to attracting bees, consider plants like lavender, foxglove, and bee balm. Their vibrant colors and rich nectar are like magnets for bees. For butterflies, milkweed is a top choice. It's not just a food source, it's also a nursery where monarch butterflies lay their eggs. Birds, on the other hand, are a bit picky. They prefer plants that produce seeds or berries. Sunflowers, elderberries, and coneflowers are great choices. And don't forget about hummingbirds. They're particularly fond of tubular flowers like honeysuckle and salvia. Remember, diversity is key. The more variety in your garden, the more types of pollinators you'll attract, and more pollinators mean a healthier, more vibrant garden. Finally, plan your garden layout. Clustering similar plants together creates a more attractive target for pollinators, and if you can, include some shelter like a small shrub or a pile of rocks. These provide safe spots for pollinators to take a break from their hard work. With these steps, you're well on your way to creating a thriving pollinator garden. Let's hear from the experts on maximizing your garden's potential. So, what are the secret ingredients to a thriving pollinator garden? Well, we've asked a few experienced gardeners and botanists who've been successful in attracting bees, butterflies, and birds to their green spaces. First up, we have botanist Dr. Greenthumb, who emphasizes the importance of understanding your local ecosystem. Every region has its unique set of pollinators, she advises. Research native plants that will attract local pollinators. Native plants are hardier, require less water, and provide the best food sources for local pollinators. Next, we have seasoned gardener, Mr. Blossom, who shares a crucial tip. Avoid using pesticides. Yes, you might ward off some pests, but you'll also deter pollinators. Instead, create a balanced ecosystem where beneficial insects keep the harmful ones in check. Water, the lifeblood of any garden, is often forgotten in the equation. Miss Dewdrop, a horticulturist, highlights its significance. Pollinators need water just like us. A shallow dish with a few stones for landing spots makes a great watering hole for our little friends. Now let's turn to Professor Bloom, a botany expert. He suggests diversifying plant types to attract a wider range of pollinators. Incorporate different shapes, sizes, and colors of flowers. Also, aim for a mix of plants that bloom at different times of the year to provide a continuous food supply. Last but not least, we have Mrs. Honeybee, a beekeeper and gardener. She reminds us not to discount the underdogs. Don't forget about night-blooming plants. They attract nocturnal pollinators like moths and bats. Every pollinator plays a vital role in our ecosystem. These insider tips are not just theoretical, they've been tried and tested in real gardens, yielding beautiful, bustling spaces teeming with life. Each tip is a piece of the puzzle that, when put together, creates a flourishing haven for pollinators. With these expert tips, you're equipped to create a successful pollinator garden. Ever wondered how pollination actually works? Well, it's a fascinating dance of nature that begins when a pollinator, like a bee or butterfly, lands on a flower. They're there for the sweet nectar which serves as their food. As they sip this nectar, pollen from the flower's stamen sticks onto the pollinator's body. Now, when they flutter over to the next flower, some of this pollen rubs off onto the new flower's stigma. This transfer of pollen from one flower's stamen to another stigma is pollination. It's the first step in the process that allows plants to reproduce and give us many of the fruits, vegetables, and nuts we enjoy daily. But here's the real beauty of it. This process isn't just beneficial for the plants. The pollinators also gain sustenance from the nectar and pollen, creating a perfect example of a symbiotic relationship. Understanding the science behind pollination brings a whole new appreciation to your garden, doesn't it? Pollinator gardens are more than just pretty, they're transformative. The beauty of these gardens goes far beyond the blooms. They play a crucial role in biodiversity and ecosystem health. When we cultivate a space that invites and nurtures pollinators, we're also promoting a diverse web of life. Let's talk about biodiversity. It might sound like a big word, but it's quite simple. Biodiversity refers to the variety of life in a particular habitat or ecosystem. Higher biodiversity means a healthier, more resilient ecosystem. And guess what? Pollinator gardens are champions of biodiversity. They provide a haven for bees, butterflies, birds, and many more creatures, each playing their unique roles in the circle of life. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Imagine a city, concrete and steel stretching as far as the eye can see. Now, picture this. Pockets of green spaces vibrant with flowers, buzzing with bees, and alive with the flitting and chirping of birds. This isn't just a dream. Communities around the world are transforming urban spaces into pollinator-friendly areas. Take, for example, the city of Toronto in Canada. They've launched the Pollinator Protection Strategy, an initiative that encourages residents to plant pollinator gardens. The result? Over 20,000 square meters of green spaces teeming with life right in the heart of the city. Or consider the case of Oslo, Norway. They've created the world's first bee highway, a corridor of pollinator-friendly plants and habitats, providing a safe passage for bees to travel across the city. It's a testament to the power of collective action and the impact we can make when we work together for the good of our planet. These are just a couple of examples. There are countless more stories of communities, big and small, embracing the pollinator garden movement. It's a testament to how each of us, in our own small way, can contribute to a larger global effort. Through pollinator gardens, we can collectively make a difference in our world. Each flower planted, each bee, butterfly, or bird attracted adds to the tapestry of life. So, let's keep planting, keep nurturing, and keep transforming our world, one pollinator garden at a time. Ready to join the pollinator garden movement? It's easier than you might think, and it doesn't matter whether your space is vast or small. Every little patch of green can make a significant difference. Imagine your own backyard or balcony buzzing with life, vibrant with colors, and playing a crucial role in supporting our ecosystem. You can start today by choosing a sunny spot and selecting a few pollinator-friendly plants. And remember, lavender for bees, milkweed for butterflies, and sunflowers for birds. It's as simple as that. For more detailed guidance, there are numerous resources available online. And don't forget about our community forum, a platform where garden enthusiasts like you share their progress, photos, and tips. It's a wonderful place to learn, share, and grow together. So, what are you waiting for? Start your pollinator garden today and become a part of this beautiful, beneficial movement.